Okay, story time. I'm going to try and make this quick. When I was a freshman in high school, I struggled with a fixed mindset, particularly in math class. It was not a subject that I enjoyed because it was a struggle for me always. From as long as I can remember, far back as I can remember, math was just something that I felt like I wasn't good at, especially when I compared myself to other people in the class. I would look around the room after my teacher would ask a question, and four or five hands would shoot up immediately, and I would think, how do you already know the answer to this? I am very confused and still lost. And slowly over time, these thoughts that I had about myself, why are you so stupid? Why can't you get this? Why is everybody else seeming to pick these things up so quickly? It created a fixed mindset for me, and it was something that I had to overcome because it was causing damage to how I viewed myself, not only as a student, but as a person. I started to have very negative thoughts about myself and my identity and who I was. And there was a turning point for me, a growth mindset turning point that really helped me get out of that. And I'm so grateful because it really changed me as a student, as a teacher, and as a person. So this is what happened. This is my turning point. Ninth grade math, I was in geometry. For some reason, my teacher in sixth grade decided that I needed to be a grade level ahead, which I still to this day, I don't know how that happened. But anyway, I was in this math class and every single day, so frustrated. I didn't understand things. It took me so long to get really simple concepts. And I had to go in after school for what we called math parties. What my teacher called them, basically just to get help after school. And I had to do this probably 3 to 4 days a week, every week, for the majority of the school year. And at first, it was something that I did not want to do. I was really stubborn about it, but I just realized that this was something that I needed in order to become better because I was not happy with my learning experience in this class and my grade. So I went in after school almost every day and I got help. That is something very practical that helped me with a growth mindset, just accepting the fact that I needed more help than just the class period itself. And I had a student teacher in that class that was so patient with me. She was so compassionate, and she walked through the homework several different ways, as many ways as I needed in order for me to understand things. And that was very helpful. The second thing that I did, slowly but surely, was changing the way that I thought about myself as a student and as a person. So, like I said, I thought to myself, you're stupid. Why can't you get this? Why is this so hard for you, but it's not hard for everybody else in your class? It's the same age as you. And I had to take a step back, pause, take a breath, and just think, you're not stupid. This is not an impossible class. This is not an impossible subject for you to master, for you to learn. It's just going to take a different route than other people. And it was really hard for me to stick with that perspective, that mindset. There were days where I would come into class and I would feel pretty okay about my learning and where I was at. And then there were other days where I just did not even want to open my book at all because I already felt defeated. And so it took very conscious effort on my part to switch the thoughts that I had about myself and to just kind of reset my perspective on who I was as a student and not telling myself that I was stupid. That was really terrible to say because I'm not stupid. It was just taking me a little bit longer than my peers. I think that was a big problem for me, is that I compared myself to other people in class, and that's what made me think that I was not capable of learning and succeeding in math. So those are just two practical things that I did, and I will say that it did not change me entirely overnight. It took a long time for me to make these conscious efforts to go in after school, to change the way that I thought about myself. And eventually, over time, I did step into a growth mindset. I changed the way that I thought, and I succeeded. I got an A in that class, and I never, in the beginning of the school year, I never would have thought that was possible because of how much I was struggling and frustrated. So if you have ever felt that way, and I'm sure you have because Who hasn't as a student? There's something that is always hard or something that we don't like to learn. If you've felt that way and you feel like you can't master a certain subject, it's just too difficult, too frustrating, please don't give up on yourself. I know it's hard. I know it's frustrating, but with a growth mindset, you can get past this mental block in your brain that tells you that you're not good enough and that you can't do it. It might look differently than your peers, but I promise you, you will be able to overcome that obstacle, whatever it is that's causing you to have an unhappy learning experience. So that is just one story that I wanted to share, and I hope that helps you.